Welcome back. It is yours truly, Nick of Movie AV Impulse. And if this is your first time here, please hit that like and subscribe. Welcome to the channel. You are walking in on my top 5 every Wednesdays, and I absolutely love doing these ones. It seems to be everybody's favorite. Everybody kind of has the most fun with this one. Today is my top 5 zombie/virus movies. I kind of noticed when I was putting this list together, I excluded the classics. My 2 classics will always be Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, because to me, those 2 movies, when it comes to the zombie franchise, it kind of just solidified itself into being some of the greatest. So I am not putting those in my top 5 list. If you are not into gore, I wouldn't suggest watching any of these movies that I'm going to suggest to you, because these ones, except for maybe number 5, get extremely gory, and I love it. And if you're a true horror fan, you want to find out what these top 5 are, stick around.
Yeah, we heard about the zombies. Yeah, that's why we're here.
Before I get into my top 5, I'm going to tell you that my buddy Bob over at Bob's Blu-rays, I had a great time at his live stream last night. I wasn't personally in it, but I was interacting in the comments and everything. We had a great time, and I suggest you go and check out that. I will leave the link down below to that video because it was such a great fun time. He did a top 5 horror movie of 2000 to present. He had a whole bunch of guests on, and Mid-Level Media had one of my favorite YouTubers. He's a great guy. He's part of the Rad Pack. And Mid-Level, love you too, man. Great content on his channel. Here, I feel like in this community, we should all spread the love. We all make videos. We all make videos about movies, and there's no problem spreading the love. If you don't like me, you're guaranteed to like one of these people. So if you didn't check out that live stream where he had Justin and or maybe a little bit of a sneak peek from some other people, I will link that stream as well in the bottom, and I will tag whosever name I said on this video. Oh, and I always do like a little mention of a horror anthology, Trick or Treat. Go check this movie out. It was hated when it first came out, and I find it hilarious that now it is getting so much love and attention. But when it first came out, people were like bashing this movie left and right, but it really is a great horror anthology, and there's so many things that Spirit Halloween has been putting out. Justin over at the Dead Couch has done a lot of videos on it, and I will link that video down below as well, because like I said, once again, I love spreading love through this community. Without any further ado, here is my top 5. Finally! And coming in at number 5 for me is World War Z. I absolutely love the adrenaline rush in this movie. Brad Pitt really trying to protect his family, running all around and just trying to get away from all these zombies. And these zombies were just different. They would stack on top of each other just to get over one zombie to get over one wall. It's just one of those nonstop, and there's just something at every corner. Coming in at number 4 to me is Wreck. You know, you had to read the subtitles, and if you don't like reading subtitles, I'm sorry, but I think you're missing out on some of the greatest horror movies, zombie movies, infection movies, virus movies, because you don't want to read subtitles. Wreck, that was a reporter and a cameraman following a fire crew, and they go to this building, and the building is infected, and it is just one wild ride, much better than Quarantine. But if you like Quarantine, you're gonna love Wreck. Coming in at number 3, Contracted. This movie was, you know, soft but like pretty, the leading up to what is going on with this girl. She catches a virus, she gets drugged and raped at a party. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, you know, you got something going on, because she's starting to notice all these things happening to her body. And slowly she is literally falling apart until she just realizes that she needs blood. She loves to taste the blood, and she has that hunger. Coming in at number 2, this one's probably going to be controversial because people like the first one over this one, but 28 Weeks Later, I think, was a much better version. You know, 6 months after the virus from the first movie which was 28 days. The military is trying to contain this virus, which I think they call the rage virus, if I'm not mistaken. And it is just one wild ride from there. Some honorable mentions: if you want a zombie but with a little bit of comedy, definitely check out Zombieland. That one is hilarious and it's just a good time, and it has Bill Murray in it. Who doesn't love Bill Murray? My other honorable mention is Cooties with Elijah Wood. This is just funny because it takes place in elementary school, hence the reason why it's called Cooties. And I think this is just one fun, wild comedy ride. Coming in at number one, this to me is hands down the best virus, infection. Some people call it a zombie movie. Whatever you want to call it, The Sadness. This movie just blew my mind. The Shudder original, so if you have Shudder, you get the luxury of going to watch this movie. Yes, it is subtitled once again, but I feel like if you don't watch subtitles and you don't, like it, you're really missing out on some of the greatest horror movies, because the Koreans, the Japanese, the Italians, the French, they all know how to do these horror movies in such a spectacular light. And guess what? They don't have the same ratings that we do. So they're allowed to do things that quote unquote American movies aren't allowed to do. So that's why when you see these remakes of these great Spanish films or French films or Italian films, they're not as good when they're Americanized, because it's just not that good. They can't do the same things that these other people can because their rating systems are different. But The Sadness is just like literally 10 minutes of you kind of feeling this couple out and, kind of trying to build somewhat of a, if something happens to them, you're going to feel bad, to literally balls to the wall, run for your life, and this guy trying to find his girlfriend, soon to be wife, and it is just balls to the wall. I can't explain it any way else except for you need to watch The Sadness. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I want to hear in the comments, what are your top 5 zombies / infection / virus movies, because there's so many different, some people argue different things, but I want to hear what your top 5 is. And on Sunday, I got a movie that I guarantee if you are not a real hardcore horror fan, you probably never heard of this movie, because my wife introduced me to this one, but it is fantastic, and it was in the 90s, and it was kind of, nope, and I'm not talking Scream. That's well known. This one, you're going to want to check out. Anyways, hit that like, subscribe, comment, everything, and go check out all them other channels that I mentioned. I will leave links down below, and I will see y'all on Sunday.